Hi everyone, today I'm going to be using my AliExpress, the 22 needle AliExpress, and I'm going to be making a ornament, and I'll be making this ornament here that can be hung on a tree or give as a gift. And this is supposed to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and this is the one I'm going to be making with this knitting machine. I'll show you how to make it. You're going to start with your black needle and you're going to cast on, starting with the first black needle there. You're going to drop this down in here, and I'm using Walmart yarn, the brown one. You're going to drop it down, let this touch the table, and you're going to put this yarn here that you're holding, you're going to put it in this needle here, not in the back part of it, but I guess you call that the front of the needle. You're going to put that in the front, then you're going to turn your handle, and the next needle is going to be in the back, and then you're going to go front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back, all the way around, doing front and back. And then when you get your last needle, it should be in the back of it. You're going to put it in your yarn guide. You're going to open your yarn guide. You're going to put it in here. And shut that up. You're going to set your counter to 0, 0, 0. And I'm going to put this down here. And then I'm going to knit 20 rows. So knit up 20 rows. I'll see you when I get to the end. I'm on 16 rows, 17 rows, 18 rows, 19 rows. And when you get to 20 rows, it'll be about on this white needle here. You're going to take and cut your yarn, leave long enough so you can cast off, and sew in the middle of it. I'll show you what I mean by that. Open it up. You're going to cast your needles off. Get you a sewing needle, yarn needle, and thread your yarn in there. And then with the one that I always start with the one that this is in, the yarn in, and I just drop that stitch, and then I pick it up with the needle. Can you see where I'm picking it up right there? Make sure you pick it up, because if you don't pick it up, it'll be a drop stitch, and pour that yarn through. You're going to turn your handle, drop that stitch, drop the needle down, and then you're going to pick that stitch up. See how I'm picking it up with the needle? You're going to sew through that stitch. You're going to do every one like that. Turn your handle, drop the needle, pick the stitch up. And this is what you call casting off. Keep doing that until you get all the needles casted off. Be careful so you don't drop any stitches, because then you'll get a big hole in your knitting, and you don't want that. Then you have to start over. So cast off all your stitches. Turn your handle, drop your needle there, pick that stitch up with this sewing needle, yarn needle. See how I picked it up? And then I'm just gonna take the yarn end right through it. Turn your handle, pick up the stitch, and this is what you call casting off. Make sure you get all them stitches picked up with your needle. This needle here, your sewing yarn needle. Almost to the end of it. Now one more. And now let's cast it off. Just cast it off. Once you cast it off, you're going to have this here. Take out your needle there, and you just pull this in together to shut it up. And it'll be like that. Just close it up like a hat. Okay, so I'm done with this. I'm done with the knit machine. I'm going to remove it. You're going to pull that tight like I said. And then you're going to thread your needle. And then try to close that hole up. Just sew it up. See how you sew it together like that. And then take and leave a loop. I'll do a couple of loops here so it don't come undone. That's tying it in. Then I'll run it back through there. And then I'll run it back out, and I'll just leave this hanging until we get done. So we're going to put some polyfill in there. And this polyfill you can get at any craft store. It's like the stuff that goes in stuffed animals. I'm going to put it in here. You don't want to stuff it too much, because then you're not going to be able to flatten it down like that. So make sure you don't put too much in there, because we're going to flatten it down a little bit. I usually do like this to make sure I ain't got too much. Yeah, that'll be about enough to flatten it down. And just close this end up. And then we're going to sew this yarn through there to close that hole up. We're going to close this up with this yarn in so it don't come undone. I like sewing it pretty good to make sure it's going to stay. Then you can make a couple knots. If this was going to be a hat, you might want to make sure that one end would be close good because you don't want it to, your hat to fall apart. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to flatten it down like this, and I'm just going to sew in between where we close the hole up. I'm going to try to flatten it down with this. Just sew in and out. Just to make it look like it's a little flat. See how it looks like it's flat? It was a ball, now it's going to be flat. And just sew it as many times as you think it's going to look like it's flat. In and out. And you can make a couple loops here, a couple knots. Might make a couple knots to make sure it's going to stay. Let me get up close so you can see what I'm doing. Like, remember how I did with the, just leave it like this, leave a little loop and just go in and tie it. And it should be flat like this, not like a ball. Okay, I think I got it good enough. I think I got it good, and okay, I'm gonna leave it like that, and then I'm going to leave these strings here because I'm gonna make the ears. Let's see how I'm gonna make the ears. I'm gonna take and pinch them up like this. Gonna make some ears that looks like the ear part, like this part here. So dark. Yeah. These here. Gonna try to make the ears. Thread your needle again. Okay, we're gonna just run this through up to the top, about where the ears are gonna be. Okay, we're gonna try to pinch this to like this, and we're gonna sew in and out. We're gonna pinch it and sew in and out of it to make, so we can make ears. We're just gonna go in and out on each side. And we're going to try to shape up the ears. See how I got that like this? We're going to take and sew it on the side like this too. Okay, now I'm going to see how we got this. We're going to pinch this sideways like this, and then we're going to just sew that side up. We're going to make some ears. And it should be about like that. This dark is hard to see. And then I'm just going to make like a little knot up here. See how I make a little loop and then go through it. Just to tie it off so it won't come undone. And then I'm going to run it through onto the other side to make another ear. Right about there. You can space them as far as you think it would look. If it looked nice. Pinch it up like we did on the other side. And then we're going to sew in and out. In and out through the side, like sew this way. Then back on the other side, sew on the other side. In and out on both sides. So we're going to have it sort of looking like that. About like that, and then we're going to pinch it together like we did the other side. Like this to make both ears look about the same. And then we're just going to sew that side up. Oh, my needle, I'm going to thread it up again. We're going to sew the ear up on the side. And try to make it sort of look like the other ear. About like that. And we're going to make knots. We're going to leave a loop like that, and then we're going to make a knot, 2 knots or 3 knots, or how many knots you think it's going to take to hold it. Sew through, go through there with your needle and make a knot. And it should be about like this. Both ears don't have to be exactly the same. And then you can sew this back down. And then you can cut it. Because we'll be done with this. Well, let me see. I might have to make the loop with this one. And I'm going to make the loop with this. So you got to keep this here. You got to make the loop. That's going to go in the center. Right here. Going to make a loop where you can hang it on the tree. I'm just going to run it through the knitting like I just did. Is that going to be long enough? Yeah, that should be long enough. I'm going to make a little tire. I'm going to sew it in there. Just sew it in there somewhere and tie a knot. That's going to be your tire to hang on the tree. Just tie a little knot to keep it tied on there. And then you can cut that off. You can leave it a little longer. Try to make a longer, if you like a longer one. But I'm using what we had left over from the sewing up that we had. And then we're going to put the nose here so we can cut this off. I'm going to sew a pom-pom on there for the nose. Let me see if I got a dark red one. I got two colors of red, and I think this is I'm going to use the darker red one. You take and I use hot glue gun. Get your hot glue gun and put your glue down in here. Don't let it burn you. And just put that in there like that. Hold it until it gets glued. That's going to look like Rudolph's nose. And then you're going to get you some, I got these from the dollar store, these pom-poms here. And these Google eyes come from Walmart. Get you some Google eyes. You can do Google eyes, or you can embroider in there with your needle. You can embroider your eyes on there. Then take your hot glue gun again, and then you're gonna be careful not to get burnt with it. Put your little thing of glue there, and just put this on top to glue it down. That glue gun's hot, and that glue is hot. That will burn you. So be careful not to get burnt on that. You don't want no kids to glue that down. They definitely get burnt. Put another drop of glue, hot glue over here. And then put your eyeball down. Be careful not to get burnt. So that hot glue gun will burn you. And if you're letting kids do this, don't let them do this part. Because this is not a craft for a kid to be messing with this hot glue gun. Not unless they're older and they know what to do with it. And that would be, and then want to get you some ribbon. And you're going to make a bow like I made here. Make a bow. I don't know how much ribbon, probably about, let me see about how much. Maybe about 6 inches of ribbon, maybe. I'm going to cut it to about that much. Let me get my, yeah, about 6 inches of ribbon. Might make a nice bow. Or you can make it smaller. If you can get a bow out of it. So I'm going to do about 6 inches. And then you're going to make a bow. Might be a little bit better if you make it a little better. I think I made that one a little bigger there. I'm just going to do it from here. Just work from this here. That way you know you got enough. Just get your bow going the way you want it. And then after you see how big your bow is going to be, then if that's the way it looks, now you can use your bow maker. I'm just going to use, you do like this. I'm just going to make a bow with my hand. But you can use a bow maker. Pull it tight. And see about how that's the way you like your bow. On your little Rudolph ornament. Gotta get it tight so it don't come out again. I'm gonna put glue on the back so it won't come undone. And put that there for like a cute little bow tie on it. Just cut it. And it should look about like that. And put you some glue on here so this won't come undone. Don't you hate it when you make a bow and it comes undone? Let that dry for a second and then put more glue. More glue on there to just hold it down on here. I'm going to just go ahead and put more glue and then press it down. Be careful not to get burnt, because this will burn you. This glue is hot. In a few minutes it'll be nice and dried, and then you have your ornaments. You can make these up to give them to your kids' friends. You can give them to your friends. You can make a little tag and put Christmas 2021. You can make a little box and put it in a little box. I got all that glue there. See, I make a mess with that glue. I'm going to have to get that off of there. And there you go. A nice little ornament. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's what I'm going to call it. And there you go. It's a cute little ornament to either gift or to give. And it's very easy to make. There's another one. And there's a little ties to hang on a tree. And they're cute. So what do you think? Do you like them? I didn't have this ribbon right here, but it's a little twisted in the back. But it's alright, as long as it's alright in the front. Let me see if I think I'm going to make it worse if I twist it the other way. Nope. I better leave it like it was. It looks fine like that. And Rudolph the Red-Nosed knitted Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer heads to hang up on your Christmas tree or to gift as a gift to friends. So here we go. That is so cute. Just don't get glue crazy like I did and get glue all over it. But it turns out pretty. You could, like I said, you can do embroidery, like take your yarn and make them eyes. Sew through the eyes and make black eyes with your yarn. You can do that, or you can use, if you don't have googly eyes, you can do that. But if you have Google eyes, then you can do it the way I did. And you can also make you can make a small pom-pom for the nose. And all I did was just flatten it down, going in and out, flattened it. And here's a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It had a very shiny nose. Cute little Rudolph. Cute little Rudolph ornament that you can gift to someone else. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. Bye-bye.